June 3rd, 2019 to order with a moment of silent meditation and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I need a motion to sit as a licensing board. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. First up, special event permit. Number one, open a hearing on an application for a special event permit filed by Matthew Fidel on behalf of Ashway Cub Scout Pack 1, Narragansett Council Boy Scouts of America, P.O. Box 965, Ashway, co-sponsored by the Hopkinton Rec Department and the Ashway Fire Department, for a family campout scheduled for 12 p.m. on June 29, 2019 through 11 a.m. on June 30th, 2019 at Crandall Field. Applicants present, I see the guys in the background. At least everything's complete.
Yes, and there's no fee involved with this because it's a co-sponsor.
By the end of the rec department. Okay, anyone have any questions for these folks? Or?
Not at all. I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm glad we're doing it again. I think that's fabulous. I'd like to make a motion to accept the application for the special event permit on behalf of Ashway Cub Scout Pack 1 for a family campout scheduled for June 29th through June 30th.
And waive the fee.
There are no fees.
Yeah, because it's
part of the recreation.
sponsored by
So
the
you
rec
don't need
department.
to even say that.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, makes it easier.
Second.
Okay. Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a
Move
good
that we
time.
adjourn as licensing board and reconvene as a council.
Second. Okay, motion made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Aye. Next up, consent agenda. Approved town council meeting minutes of May 20th, 2019. Executive session minutes of May 20th, 2019. Special town council meeting minutes of May 15th, 2019. Accept the May 13th, 2019 transcript as the record of the hearings for the zone amendment and comprehensive plan future land use map amendment filed by Atlantic Solar LLC involving Gordon Excavating Inc. and Hopkinton Land 1 LLC. Approve refund resulting from an overpayment of the 2018 real estate tax and an overpayment of 2018 a tangible tax submitted by the tax collector. Yes, Lisa.
I would like to ask that you would remove the executive session minutes of May 20th. They're incomplete.
Okay.
I'd also like to pull 15 and 13, 15 and 13.
And poll on May 20th, 2019, please.
Okay. You want to go start, Scott?
Okay,
Which page?
page 5, it says Sandy Walk and Woody Hill Road. I don't know if they meant Tammy Walk had mentioned this Lisa or Woody Hill Road, but I know Tammy lives on Woody Hill Road, so maybe there is a Sandy Walk that lives
We'll
on.
double check and make sure it's correct.
Okay. And the other thing is, on the end, I believe it's page 21, on the top it says Dan York without the E, and that has to change. Dan York, the radio guy, is with an E. And other than that, I'd like to make a motion, the minutes of May 20th be adopted with a change of Dan York spelling, and also for the Lisa to correct, check on whether it was C&E or TME
We'll do.
is the correct, but Tammy doesn't live on Woody Hill Road, so maybe.
I'll make sure it's correct.
Okay. I make a motion with those corrections, if they need to be made, that be done.
Second?
Okay. Motion made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Bobby, you had some?
I have to abstain on May 15 and May 13.
Okay.
So I just need to poll so I can abstain.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the rest of the consent agenda except for May 13th and May 15th and the executive session minutes of May 20th.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those abstaining?
I'll move that we approve the minutes for the May 15th, 2019 and May 13th, 2019 transcript for the record. Where we had, one was a special town council meeting and the May 13th with the transcript.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
I abstain.
No other states. First public forum. Anyone out there wishing to be heard? Yes, sir. Please come to the podium.
Robert Tuttle. I live across the street at 485 Main Street. And I guess my gripe is, why wasn't the grass cut at the memorial out here for Memorial Day? It wasn't cut until 2 days after. The grass was that high.
Was it on this side or the other side of the street? You mean right out here? This
The
side?
memorial right here, the World War I
Yeah,
memorial.
the memorial.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know if you meant something on the,
No, no,
On
no,
the
no,
meeting
no,
house.
right here,
yeah, it's right over there.
right here, right outside your door.
Oh, okay, all right.
Not sure, we'll make sure it doesn't
If you
happen.
can't afford it, let me know next year, I'll come over and mow it myself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
My
much.
wife's ill, I've got to go.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Next up under my report, Sunday I had participated in the Sportsman's Club annual Hopkinton Day at Crandall Field. It was a great success. I served hamburgers and hot dogs for the kids. Great event, cane pole fishing and prizes and all kinds of stuff. So great success with the Asheville Sportsman's Club for the community. Next up, Bill McGarry, Town Manager Report.
Pretty well all set, that's
Oh, okay. Next up, boards and commissions. Number one, discuss, consider, and possibly vote to appoint alternate member Carolyn Light to the full-term position on the planning board.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint alternate member Carolyn Light to the full-term position of the planning board. Second.
Motion made and second. Any discussion, folks? Okay, haven't heard none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you,
Okay.
Carolyn. Good luck.
Because we talked about
Yes.
About the president, not the president, the manager's report,
Sure.
I don't know.
Oh, I listed it under my president's report last meeting. Maybe, I don't know if you were here, maybe not. But Bill, you want to just share a couple of minutes of what that meeting with Mr. Morano?
As the president mentioned, that was previously discussed by him at a town council meeting at the last meeting, and I kind of missed that. But on May 17th, I met with Council President Frank Landolfi, Planner Jim Lamphia, Deputy Zoning Official Sherry Desjardins, and a group of businessmen who may be interested in a major development project in the area of Exit 2 at Palmer Circle. This was a preliminary informational meeting. It took place at the Crandall House. The developers still have a considerable preliminary work to do prior to coming back to the town with a plan that touches all the bases. And it basically was like a meet and greet as was requested by the prospective developer.
Last public forum? Anyone out there?
Let's go Bruins.
No. Yes. Hold on 1 second. We got one there ahead.
Joe Moreau, Old Depot Road.
Hey, Joe.
Hey guys, good evening. I had 89 pages, I'm not going to get into it. I'm really not. It's nothing that you haven't heard before, so I don't want to bore you, and I'm reporting the Bruins, so I need to go. Financially, I understand we have a tough year ahead of us. The question is, what happens when the next tough year comes along? What will some members of the town council sell out next? What residential property is next on the chopping block? How many more residents will lose on their biggest investment, their homes? I want to tell you a quick short story. I was outside working one day last week, and this gentleman pulled up, and he had a Jeep, so I knew he was a decent guy. And he said to me, are you Joe Moreau? And I said, it all depends who's asking. I said, are you with the Second Amendment rights group? And he said, no, I'm not packing. I said, okay, we can chat. I said, let's go in the shade. His name is Ted Dion. He lives on Chase Hill Road. I did get his permission to mention his name. And we spoke for probably 45 minutes. He said, Joe, this has got to stop. He said, "I've been a lifelong resident of Hopkinton, and I can't put up with this anymore with all this solar." He said, "I'm just tired of it." He's in the butter to Chase Hill Road. He said, "It's got to stop, and the town council needs to go." And I said, "Well, there are some very good people in the town council." I said, "I understand your position." He said, "I've just had it." He said, "I hate to say that I live in Hopkinton because of what's going on." He said, "I'll be in touch with you." I said, "Okay." So the next day I get a phone call on the landline, which is unusual. It's not a telemarketer. And he said, "Joe, this is Ted." He said, "You have a few minutes to chat?" I said, "Yeah, I do, Ted." He said, "I'm in your driveway." I said, "Come on back to the porch." So we sat down. And he said, "I want to give you this check." And he gave me a check, substantial amount of money. He also gave me another check from a neighbor of his. And he said, "There's more to come. This is the only way we're going to stop this solar in our town, and I need to do my part." So I thanked him, and we chatted for a while, and he left. A couple days later, it was on Sunday, I went out there to see his property, to thank him again. And I'm looking at his property on Chase Hill Road. His house is here, the solar project is in the middle, and there's an 1830 colonial to the right. We went down there, met a young couple that have lived there for 5 years, that are completely redoing this historic colonial. His friend Adam lived across the street in another 1850-year-old colonial house. He said, "It's bad enough," and I could see it. He said, "You can see the substation behind my property." He said, "You should see it in the fall when the trees are gone." He said, "So I have to live with that." They're raising chickens. They're doing what people move to Hopkinton for. And these people are in this historic area. When you go down Chase Hill Road, I've never been down there, and shame on me. When you go down there and look at the homes, and look at the roads, and you look at the stone walls, that whole area, that's what Hopkinton is about. I realize it's a tough year. Our taxes are going to go up. That's part of living in a rural area, and that's why people move here. When I look at someone like Ted Dion, I really feel bad for that poor man. When I went back to see him Sunday, sitting out in his workshop where he builds boats, as peaceful as could be. And he said, "This is all going to change if I have to have that next to me." I know it's an important hearing coming up on June 10th. I'm sure you've done your due diligence. Please consider the folks in Hopkinton, that are the Ted Dion's and the people that have lived here all their life. He knew my wife's uncles from Quaney. He called them the Quaney boys. You know, that's what this town is about. And there is a financial situation, I get it. But at what cost? We don't need to do this. We just don't need to do it. Thank you. Go Bruins.
Thank you. Mr. President, I'd like to offer a motion to adjourn in memory of the late William C. Wilcox, who served on this honorable town council from 1968 to 1972.
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
Are we sure there's aren't any more for public forum?
I always wanted to double check.
Anyone else?
Quiet
A
night.
lot of Bruins, a lot of Bruins fans.
Everybody wants
That's a
to
good
run
thing.
home and
That's a
take
good
it.
Okay, motion was made and seconded, I believe. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Good night.